Hello, it's
It's
Tom.
time.
I was wondering if after all these years you'd like to meet Bill.
You.
So hello from the other
Other
side.
side.
I must have called 1,000 times
Thousand times.
to tell you I'm
I'm
sorry
sorry.
for breaking your heart, but it don't matter, Bill. It clearly doesn't
Couldn't
tear
tell
you
you apart
apart
anymore.
anymore. What a fucking game that was on Sunday, baby. Whew.
Week 4 recap, boys. My camera doesn't work. That was great to find out. Let's get into it. First game up on the docket. The GOAT KD falls yet again as the Philly Cheekles set a franchise record with 186 points.
Yeah, this is easily the best week in franchise history for the Philly Cheekles. Their first ever top 10 finish. Just go down the line, man. Like they just had performers all around. Justin Herbert balled out. Jonathan Taylor, great game. David Montgomery, great game. He did suffer an injury late in the game. We do hope that he gets healthy soon. The reports I've been seeing as of right now is he's looking around like week 10. But that's just the report that I've seen. Somebody might have a report that sees the future better than I do. Um,
Mm-hmm.
More or DJ Moore, great game. Debo Samuel, great game. Just honestly, I can't say enough. Great week, Blake. Great win. Everybody performed on his team and gets himself back to 500.
It's definitely one that franchise is going to remember for a while.
Oh yeah,
On the flip side, the GOAT KD gets the Lions Award. They fall to 1-3 after going 9-3 last year. They've already matched the total losses they had last year. Not ideal in their title defense, and they're also currently sitting last place in the East. Uh, Tyreek Hill had a great day, 48.6, and the Bills' defense had a great day, but unfortunately, it would not be enough. They had a couple single digit performances too many, an 0.3 for Miles Gaskin, and they had a solid week, but Blake just took it to him, and they came up with the loss. That's rough. There's not a lot of margin for error if they want to even make the playoffs now, let alone defend their title. All right, next game up, we got Cleas Mafia taking home the Lemp Award at the hands of Francy Feast. They fall to 1-3, while Francie Feast remains undefeated at 4-0. So let's see how Francie Feast was able to pull this one out. Despite lucking into another win because Cleas only put up 80 points, they really could have won this week with any kind of performance. But they did have a solid performance, getting a nice 148. Kyler and Derrick Henry continue to lead this team, 28 points each out of both of them. And then the key to being a successful franchise in sports, everyone's just got to play their role. And that's what they did outside of Juju, but, he has his own problems. Everyone else putting up at least double digits. Solid week, make your team hard to beat, and you'll find yourself more wins.
yeah. Just the complete opposite here for Cleas Mafia as they fall to 1-3 with what the lowest score we have so far this year. Um, Ross had a really good game. Aside from that, that's really only I would say he did have a fumble though. Only like top performer from the Cleas Mafia this week. Stonks had a pretty decent game. He was able to squeak out a tud, but other than that, just very below average performance for everybody on the team. CeeDee Lamb only 2.8 points. Brandon Ayuk averaging a solid 1.25 points per start on the Cleas Mafia. That can't be sitting well with Cleasby after he got the nickname Bitch Boy after week 1. But just overall, not a good week. A week you want to put behind you, and just get ready for the next week if you're Cleas Mafia here.
Yeah, Brandon Ayuk definitely not making it easy for the franchise to trust him. Every time they put him in the lineup, he throws a stinker.
Yeah, that's what happens when you put somebody on the trade block after a half, man. They don't perform for you.
Seems to be content on both sides. Speaking of stinkers, let's talk about this next game as Lemp gets back to his sneaky reputation, taking home the Swiper Award against Adam with a monster score of 118 to 109.
Lemp, you sneaky fucking bastard, bro. These are just games that the canned Pams always seem to squeak out. These fucking sneak games where they just win by a couple points after having not the greatest week. These are just the games that they always just end up squeaking out. He did have a good week from Zeke this week. It's a Dallas rushing attack. They're looks like they're committed to the rushing attack a little bit more this year than in years past. And then Lamar had a pretty solid game as well. The Tampa Bay defense also playing pretty well for the canned Pams. But this is the big thing, and Lemp actually pointed this out to us the other day. Kicker Matt Prater scored, 15.5 points. So this is the guy that Lemp dropped Chuba Hubbard for a week ago. Okay. And if Lemp didn't have Prater, if he would have put any of his other kickers in this week, he would have lost. So is this dude just 5-heading Albert Einstein, the greatest fucking genius in for the moms? I don't know.
It is,
he also did score more points than Chuba Hubbard this week, so maybe Lemp just is a sneaky little genius. Time will tell. But good little sneak win for them this week.
It was a good little sneak win for them this week, indeed. Sometimes you just got to get those ones. But there's always someone on the other end of those sneak wins. And in this example, that would be Leeroy Jenkins. Let's look at how this unfolded for them as they fell to 2-2. So last week I shouted out the two young players they got, Justin Jefferson and Najee Harris. They show out again. They both had north of 20 points. A good week from Diggs. But other than that, just too many disappointments. A lot of single digits at the end of the roster. Only 14 from Tom. Even though he had a hell of a game, he did what he needed to do. Bill was a little bit too much for him to put up big stats. And, just the performance from the rest of the team outside of these three, Harris, Jefferson, and Diggs, just made this team look really beatable. And this came immediately after they said they might never lose another game again. So maybe arrogance got to them. Maybe they need to look in the mirror, realize there's a lot of work to be done. They want to get through these next 9 games. We still have 9 games left. That's a lot of season. So maybe hold your horses, save your championship talk till it's playoff time. That would be my advice. All right. Next game. We got the Cleveland Steamers with a hot 160 points, taking down FaZe Kev. We put up a nice 142, but couldn't get it done as they fall to 0-4.
Yeah, dude, this was a big bounce back game for us as we almost grabbed ourselves a Lemp Award last week. We knew that Kev was going to come out and put together a good week. They were pretty desperate for a win over there at FaZe Kev. But we got carried by some of our big dogs this week. Mahomes doing Mahomes things, carrying us with a nice little 37 points. Scary Terry, 31 points. We love to see that. 2 tuds for him. Joe Mixon, we do have a little questionable here. Joe Mixon did end up getting hurt at the end of that Jacksonville game. We're hoping the best for him. We had to deal with a substantial injury from him last year, hoping that it's nothing too serious and he'll be able to get back on the field. And then everybody was able to do enough what they needed to do this week. We were able to pull out the win against a team that was very desperate for a win as FaZe Kev falls to 0-4 here.
Yeah, FaZe Kev here. They really just had one of those weeks. They're only 1 point off the Lions award, so they had a winnable week, but it just didn't fall into fruition with them. The only real major point of error is maybe a little bit towards the bottom of the roster, a little bit too many single-digit points, but they still put up solid 142. It's hard to be too upset with that. Eckler had a big day, 31 points, but it was on Monday night, and this game was already out of reach for them. And you wish you could brush this one off, but as they fall to 0-4, there's just not much more room for error. It's really heartbreaking loss at this point to fall to 0-4. Because at this point, you're just trying to get wins. You're begging for swiper awards. You just need to win any way you can. All right. Fifth game. We got DeezeNuts putting up very solid performance of 159. They improved to 3-1. Take early control at the top of the East. Or they're tied for first. But still impressive nonetheless. Big showing from the Evans Scholars to start the season here.
Yeah, dude, DeezeNuts. Running backs here stole the show, man. Saquon Barkley getting back in that 30-point column for the first time in a while. You do love to see that, just as a fan of the game, to see Saquon back on the field just doing Saquon things.
Yeah,
Clyde Edwards-Helaire, big game.
Saquon only had 5 at
what was it?
Halfway through the third quarter too, and he just went off at the end of the game.
Man, just a big play waiting to happen, baby. But we also got Clyde Edwards, big game. DK Metcalf and Amari Cooper were both able to sneak out some tuds here for DeezeNuts. And then I got to give my boy a shout out. Scroll down to that kicker there. Tyler Bass to Mouth. Dude came through again for Noah this week. Number 1 kicker in fantasy, 16.3 points in a game that you really wouldn't expect a lot from a kicker with the Buffalo offense going up against that Houston defense. You were expecting a lot of extra points, but he was able to pull together 16 points out of big Tyler Bass to Mouth. Be another big week for him.
Yep. And then on the flip side, my team, Texas has 10-4s. We just had a stinker week. Stafford was okay. Hollywood Brown, he had a nice 20. I was pretty happy with that. I just decided to put him in the lineup. But other than that, things just went wrong for us quick. Chuba Hubbard, free agent acquisition, only got 9.6. I was hoping he'd be a little Diet McCaffrey in his replacement. That was just not the case this week. All our normal point producers were low. Chris Carson only 4.6. Devontae Adams 11.9. Not terrible, but from him you'd expect more. Mike Williams only 2 after starting the season super hot. Kelsey only 5. I mean, that's just not a recipe for success. We deserved a Lemp award. We didn't quite get it this week because Tyler was even worse. But fall 2-2. We got to look in the mirror, regroup. We're starting to figure out our identity as a team, I think. And I'm glad if this week was going to happen. Like 159, that's a hard score to beat. I think it would have been a lot more heartbreaking to get 150 and lose. So at least we had it on a week where we had little chance to win. But we regroup and move forward. We don't hold on to the past for too long. All right, that's it for the games. Let's look ahead. Week 5 schedule. First up, Texas has 10-4s. Taking on the GOAT KD. Everyone is rounding out their first trip through the divisional opponents if they haven't done so already. So this last first division matchup for just about everyone. The GOAT KD, they really need to rebound, as we talked about. We'll see if they're able to get it done. Cleas Mafia, after taking the Lemp award to fall to 1-3, they look to rebound against a hot Philly Cheekles team right now. They haven't been able to handle success in years prior. See, this is the first year they are. And then two teams who no one expected to get off to a hot start. DeezeNuts and Pams, both 3-1. Fighting for the early lead in the East coming out of the first round of divisional games. We'll see who's able to get it done. Fourth matchup, Francy Feast 4-0 looks to remain undefeated going against the Cleveland Steamers. Nick, how you guys going to find a way to slay the number one team?
Dude, we need to fucking stop the Hareem cunt vulture touchdowns this week. Okay, can't have them this week. Can't have them.
Yeah,
That's how we're gonna
true.
lose.
You really need a big Nick Chubb week this week.
Big Chubb week.
All right, and then last but not least, Leeroy Jenkins, after declaring their team unbeatable and being beaten, looks to rebound from 2-2, and FaZe Cav still looking for their first win of the season. See if they're able to get it done. Quick look at the standings here. Any final thoughts, Nick?
Nothing from over here.
Francy Feast 2-game lead. I should point that out. 2-game lead on the West, so they're gaining ground quick. We'll see if you're able to slow them down.
Hopefully.
All right.
But no, that's all I got for this week. Everybody enjoy a couple days off here. And we'll get back to it again on Thursday.
All right. Peace out, boys. Have a good week.